Hello, welcome to my Q&A. I wanted to do it outside because I just don't feel right doing anything inside, especially for an outside channel. So let's begin. My first question comes from Jack. And do I like any college or professional sports? No. I mean, I'll watch football if it's on, and since I'm born and raised in Ohio, I default to the Buckeyes, of course, because like supposed to, have to, whatever. But whenever there's a game on, I do tend to root for Michigan just to get the coworkers or anybody worked up just for fun. Then we have the question here about will I be listening to any music on the trail, and also what my favorite bands are. So on the trail I will be listening to music, and my favorite bands vary. They go between like 21 Pilots, Metallica, Korn, Disturbed, Manson, and I'll click random playlists of whatever. So right now, like, I'm listening to the Beatles, Journey, stuff like that, and I'll be listening to audiobooks. Currently working through Harry Potter series, only on book 2, and I'll also be listening to podcasts such as Smartless or anything that's kind of like that or trail related. And yeah, I'll be listening to music for sure. I'll definitely only have one headphone in, earplug in, whatever, because I do want to hear like bears or snakes. I don't want to miss anything like that because that would be foolish. So on to the next one. This is from John Meyer. When I sleep, do I dream about being on a trail, and can I tell you guys about them? Well, I haven't slept since I announced that I was going to do the trail. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I have had a dream actually, and it goes basically from me starting in the Savannah, Georgia, and working my way up to the top of Mount Katahdin and holding my bag and my trekking poles up in the air to get that photo on that sign. And that's what I dream about. Now we got a question here from RLG Gray. What kind of mental preparations have I done, if any? I would say that throughout my life I've been doing some in different spots without knowing it, such as joining the military, and kind of mental preparation they make you go through when you have to do physical training and you just do not have a choice to say no or quit. You have to go until your body just gives out, and you still have to go further. So if you don't, then your squad mates and all that have to do extra to cover up for what you're lacking. So it taught you to push further than you thought was possible. So I believe that's a good preparation that I have had. And then also just the normal work grind of having a normal everyday job, doing the same thing over and over. And not every day you wake up wanting to do that. So there's good days or bad days, but you still wake up, you still go to work, you get what you gotta get done, and you move on until you get to the better days. So I'm thinking that will help me on the daily grind of just walking and walking, and maybe not even seeing the scenery because I'm always looking at the ground, just focusing on the next step, or just the same scenery, maybe just trees, or nothing like big that stands out like a waterfall or something like that. Not that any scenery is more unique than the other, but I'm sure you catch my drift. Then we have a question from Brad, and have I seen any bipedal hominid primates out there? And no, I haven't. But there was this one time I was on a trail and I was just starting it, and then I thought I seen something weird, and I still had that clip, and here it is. Okay guys, today we are going to be going to the Grassman here, and what in the world? anybody seen any tracks like these before? Those are huge. And quite a big step. I mean, it is the grass loop. Maybe Brad's onto something with that Grassman. It's crazy. Then the last question I have here is from Mary, and it's, how did you take off 5 to 6 months to hike the trail, and will I go back to work or will I retire? I'll do it backwards. Unfortunately, I'm too young to retire. I've only been there 7 years almost, so I will be going back to work once I finish, unless I've had some mind-altering experience out there that just keeps me walking onto the next trail and next trail. And how I got the time off was that I have been there for almost 7 years, and I've only taken like maybe 8 days of vacation the entire time. So I've saved up over 77 days of paid vacation, and that's not including sick days or extra X days, so they call them. They're just special days off with pay, and that will cover me hopefully the entire time. So it'll be only be 5 days a week, so not the weekends, not the holidays. So it should cover me for close to 15 weeks. So that's why I've got a time limit close to 5 to 6 months, because I've got to get back to get to work. I mean, they can spread it out, they said, and I can do a couple days without pay, but I prefer not to do that. So with that said, that's all the questions I got for this video. If you do have any more, put them in the comments or go into the community tab. I put a post in there about the Q&A. You can post the questions there or in the comments below. And we've got like 6 weeks left. I've got the lodge booked. I've got my transportation, which I'm going to be doing a rental car from here, dropping it off in Dawsonville, Georgia, and then I'm going to get an Uber, taxi, or shuttle back to the lodge, which is only like 20 miles from there. So my transportation of getting there is all set. I just got to make the drive and wait till next month. So we're going to do this, and I'm still like criticizing my gear. Worried that the stuff I don't have is the right stuff I'll need, but I'm pretty sure I'm good and set to go, besides a couple extra things like collapsible cup, bandana, a ShamWow or something like that to wipe out the condensation in the tent, and of course Crocs for like camp shoes, so I don't have to wear my Lone Peaks the whole time, especially if they're wet. And my pack, I always get a lot of comments about it being too small and all that, but I was always told that size doesn't matter, it's how you use it. And this thing has worked for me well for the couple nights that I've done. I always get everything to fit in there and nothing's missing, so I shouldn't have a problem with that unless I want to go crazy on food or buy a bunch of souvenirs, but I figure I'll just ship souvenirs or stuff home. So I believe I'm set. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you in the next one.